Why does a person that never was a slave deserve compensation from a person that never owned a slave?
Why is the person who owes his entire existence in this country to slavery now speaking against owed reparations? Why is the person who is not black not minding his own business about the black issues that don't concern him?
We have this young black man demanding anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million, something that he never went through, while talking to an elderly black man who has probably lived through actual racism and actual hardships. This young man did not pick cotton. He didn't survive segregation. He didn't go through any of that. But yet you feel entitled to money for something that never happened to you.
They will be getting their land back because white people are becoming more and more the minority as the years go on. They say by 2045, whites will be completely the minorities.
Hello lovelies, welcome back to today's episode. Let's talk about this particular Latino man who came out to mock black people that they don't deserve reparations. According to him, he said that how come someone will ask reparations when he never been a slave on someone who never owned slaves? Guys, let's talk about today's episode because when you try to see how this man tried to show this level of hatred that black people don't deserve anything, let's get to hear different content creators in different videos I gathered for you. All credit belongs to them. Let me know your thought, then you come back with more commentary.
Hey family, did you know that white folk got reparations in Washington, D.C. because the slaves were set free? Yes, you heard that right. The enslavers got reparations, not the enslaved. Let's get into this, y'all. Before the Emancipation Proclamation freed the enslaved people in the Confederate States in 1863, slavery was still legal in the United States capital, which is D.C. So, on April 16, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln signed the D.C. Compensated Emancipation Act. Now, what did this act do? First, it abolished slavery in Washington, D.C. Some of y'all didn't even know D.C. had slaves, huh? Yes, it abolished slavery in D.C. It freed over 3,000 enslaved people. And the most controversial thing is it paid the former enslavers up to $300 per person, per slave, as compensation for their loss of property. Oh my God. It's as if, you got to remember, slaves were seen as property anyway. So the government basically gave them, let's say, an insurance policy, right? For paying them for their loss. It's almost like, you know, if you have a State Farm or Geico and you have flood insurance at your house and your property gets damaged, what do they pay you? They give you money for property damage. This is exactly what a government did in 1862 for the slaves because they were property. So they paid the white slave owners compensation for the loss of their property.
This question is coming from a person of color makes this all the more despicable. But since you've shown the world how little you know about history and finances in this country, let me help you out just a little bit. And you don't need a college education to know this, maybe high school at the very least. You ready? The same way that generational wealth can be passed down through generations, generational debt can also be passed down through generations. If the descendants of slave owners who created these multi-billion-dollar financial institutions off of the free, back-breaking, unending 4 centuries, 12 to 16 generations of chattel slavery is still benefiting from that wealth today in 2025, then why shouldn't the descendants of those slaves be able to have the debt paid to them that was never paid to their ancestors? It doesn't matter if the people now didn't own the slaves. What matters is that they are still benefiting from the wealth that was created because of those slaves who were never paid. Do you understand that? This is not rocket science, my friend. It's common sense, and clearly you're showing the world that you're void of it. And I'm not really sure what you're hoping to get out of this, but if you think your pandering, pick-me-ass behavior is going to get those same descendants of that generational wealth to give you a few dollars, then you have truly lost your mind.
They will be getting their land back because white people are becoming more and more the minority as the years go on. They say by 2045, whites will be completely the minorities because a lot of the old people are going to die off. People like myself aren't having kids because of the economy. Yeah, there's actually more interracial relationships nowadays. So kind of in a way, white people will kind of go extinct of the American soil. And that's what Trump's plan, the Zionist plan is, to destroy the economy. Is their plan to have the indigenous people go away and make it more white. That's why he's bringing over the South African white people over here, all that stuff. Is they want to wipe out the indigenous people, but it's actually backfiring because the whites are going out. And the indigenous people are actually having more children than the whites. So yeah, they're eventually going to get their land back without having to do a thing.
When you try to see a lot of people going against the black people right now, saying anyhow they want, do even the people remember that this freedom or this migrant, these Latinos, these Asian people are enjoying this freedom to stay in America, have that right to do whatever they want. It's all because of black Americans. Do you know that each and everything started during civil rights movement? It's where at least they sat down and say, let's try to do something so that these slaves, these migrants will have some light on this land. It's where they started to give this birthright citizenship. And these Latinos, these Asian people, they've been coming in America, getting that freedom, being benefit from this.
I have a slightly hot take. It's probably already been said, but they don't want to give black people reparations because they know that if we receive reparations, we would leave. A lot of us want to leave, and the big reason why we don't leave is because we have no means to leave. We don't have the money to live somewhere else. We're barely living here. So they know. Also, they're fucking cruel and just disgusting, but they know if they gave us reparations, we would leave and they would have nobody to oppress. They would have nobody to do whatever the fuck they want to do to. And they keep talking about birthright citizenship and they got their way with the Supreme Court. We all know that. But they do know that it applies to them mostly. I don't think it matters because, you know, in the back of their minds, they probably do understand that it applies to them, but they don't think that the rules apply to them ever. Anyway, so, but if you start rounding up black people because for whatever reasons you decide that we're not citizens, where are you deporting us to? Although, let's not kid ourselves. We know that it's not about deportation. It's about kidnapping. It's about doing the same thing that they did hundreds of years ago. If they figure out a way to do it, they probably will. But again, that's why we'll never get reparations, period. Under any administration. Never. They don't want us to leave. They want us here.
Mexican people in my comment section, you blacks are lazy. You guys aren't gonna be out there doing all that hard work. You're not gonna be out in them fucking fields. You fucking right I'm not. What the fuck? What the fuck would I do that for? You think I'm doing all this studying and fucking physiology, anatomy bullshit for nothing? Bitch, I'm gonna be a chiropractor one of these days. Probably not tomorrow, probably not the next day, but it's coming. That's a fact. What are you talking about? What the fuck I look like getting out to the field, doing a whole bunch of work for a little bit of money? I know that's what y'all Mexican dudes like to do, but we ain't doing that shit around here. Most degrees in the fucking world in the United States where I fucking live are given to black students, no matter how you fucking slice it. Motherfucker, what the fuck we gonna be out there doing that stupid shit for? We got better shit to do. Yeah. So soon enough, these scrubs gonna be changed from purple students to all black, my favorite color, you know what I'm saying, in my own office, doing my own practice, doing some big boy shit, big dollar shit, you know what I'm saying? You gotta just tell them strawberries and all that dumb shit in the field. You ain't gonna nurture shit, not. No, I am not. Cry about it. I don't give a fuck. What are you talking about? Dumbass. You blacks are fucking lazy. No, we're just not doing that stupid shit. Okay, it ain't stupid shit, but we ain't gotta do that. We got better shit to do. What are you talking about? Dumbass, you mad as hell. Your kind ain't out there grabbing up degrees like that. I'm getting mine. Watch. Bitch.
What about it? Do you believe black people should get reparations? No, I think black people should get equity, and I think the two are different. I think that I'm not really a fan of handouts. Like, I don't want your money. I just want me to be able to make my money and you not be on my dick about making it. I don't think that if we get reparations, we gonna fare any better. Me personally, I don't think that. So I think reparations would be a waste for most. Some would definitely take the money and do some positive things with it, but I don't think it'll get us no better if we not changing how we being treated in America. I don't think reparations gonna change nothing.
Firstly, he called reparations a handout. That is just wrong. Reparations are not a handout. Here's the textbook definition of reparations: the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged. This in no way is a handout. Every other demographic of people who have been wronged unjustly and has either lived in or migrated to America has been given reparations, except for black Americans. Let's get that out of the way. Secondly, Ish started speaking using words like equity. I do think equity is important when speaking in business terms, which Ish is a businessman. He's been a business owner for like 20 years, which is what I do respect about him. It's not an easy thing to do, which is why I don't believe Ish is not smart, like some people are saying. But when saying I would prefer us to get equity in what exactly? I never get a clear answer to that question. I don't want us to get checks. I want us to get equity. That is cool in theory. What do you want us to get equity in exactly?
How dare Latinos who are upset with black people because we're not protesting with you? I'm sorry, this thing just pisses me off. That you want to compare your experience with mine. With the black experience. You cannot do that. You have no right to our pain. You have no right to our trauma. You chose to come across the border. We are not immigrants. Black people are not immigrants in this country. We were brought here against our will. We were brought here in chains. And yes, undocumented people have contributed to the American economy, but so have black people. And we did it with our lives, with our blood, with our children's blood. Yes, they did family separations back in 2016. They're probably still doing it now. But our families were separated long before yours were.
President Trump, why is God judging your nation? And why is he telling you, send the descendants of stolen people out of your land with their reparations? Wells Fargo, 2012, $175 million settlement. Allegations, discriminatory lending practices against African Americans, including steering them into subprime mortgages and charging higher fees compared to white people with the same credit. Bank of America, 2011, $335 million settlement. Allegations, Countrywide, acquired by Bank of America, was accused of charging higher fees and interest interest to black borrowers compared to whites with the same credit. JP Morgan Chase, 2017, $55 million settlement. Allegations: the bank was accused of allowing mortgage brokers to charge minority borrowers higher rates and fees than white people with the same credit. This is a testimony against you before heaven and earth. Let your captives go, or God will continue to judge your nation, and you will see plagues like you've never seen. In the name of Yeshua.
You all know in the history, black people has been passing through a lot during slavery. When you try to see each and every one who passed through a lot, they've been getting reparations. Imagine in DC, these slave owners in 1860 something, imagine they got reparations of losing slaves because that time they end slavery. These white people almost owned 3,000 slaves, and yet the government came out to ask them, name the price, because in that time slaves was just considered as property because they never took them as human beings. In that time, imagine a government to come and say, name your price. How much do you think we should pay you, each and every one, according to the number of slaves you lost? Now you see, and it end up one person being paid $300 on each slave. Try to imagine the money they gave them. And they never came back to see black Americans who been in that slavery, and they paid them. Because when we are talking about reparations, these black Americans also need the reparations. We are still have grandma, we are still have grandpa who been in that slavery period season. They are still alive. They have descent. They have great kids right now. They are still struggling. They are still passing that trauma or passing that slavery trauma and the bad treatment. And you are just saying they don't owe anything. If people really want to bring this equality among race in America, they should consider each and everything which has caused a lot of damages in the past and try to amend each and everything. How come we are seeing this? Try to imagine that story. These white people, in that time, 1860 something, you were paying one person $300. If you've been having 500 slaves, try to make maths. Because according to them, you are losing property. Sorry for each and everything. Sorry for ending this system of slaves. We are sorry, we are sorry, we are sorry. We know it was not supposed to be, but that's how things end. And if these slaves, you never even wanted to go and search them and say, please, please, you've been harassed, you've been passing through a lot, we are sorry for each and everything. Till death, we never seen anyone saying, we want to do reparations on slaves or descent of slaves. No one is talking about it. And yes, seeing these Latinos coming saying, black people, they always like to show up. They like to stay there looking for government help. They are lazy people. They don't want to work. They are just like that. They are just always rant that the government owns them something. When we try to see in the struggle of Latinos, we know that they are descent from Indian and black people who've been in slaves in Latin America. But the struggle these Latinos, their ancestors passed through, it's not something will come and compare to what black people has been passing through in American slavery. In that period, we know each and everything. When we try to see in the history, a lot of pictures are still there. Someone will take you in his plantation. You stay there for years, being chained, being beaten here and there. You don't have right to see your family. You don't have any right to go to school. You are just there to do what they ask you to do. That's it. And when people try to talk about it, some people are getting angry. You could ask yourself, why this time around, whenever black people start to rise up their issues, their history, everyone wants to block that story. Everyone don't want to hear anything like that. They just get pissed. Why are you pissed? If something doesn't concern you, you should mind your own businesses. If black people are there saying we need reparations, that's what they think. That's what they are supposed to get. I've seen this video. This man trying to say we need this Latino, try to say we need to have equal. They need to do handout. Eh? They need to share the same as the Latino. They need also to make a share. What are you trying to say? What do you want people to share with the Latinos? When we are talking about slavery in America, when we are talking people who've been held almost 400 to 500 years in slavery. Just try to calculate. Even right now, 10 years doesn't end so fast. And someone has been detaining one less in slavery almost 500 years. From generation to generation, generation to generation. And you don't even have that pity. You don't even have sympathy. You don't even have that remorse to hear this history, which is feel very bad to hear something like that. You are just there, oh, these black Americans, they are lazy, they are ranting. Why they always sitting there saying that government should give them reparations? Reparations for what? This is the new generation. Those ancestors who've been in slavery, it was back years. Why these people, they always try to look money for government? Now just try to imagine. When we try to say that these Latinos, they've been always there being anti-blackness, but some people don't want to see something like this. They always look away to put down the black people. They always look away to cause quarrels, drama, misunderstanding, so that everyone will see black people as bad people. No wonder you have seen during LA protest, they've been saying, oh, black people, you are not showing up, you are not coming to help us. But when you try to see, when did you ever see Latinos come out to help black people? Have you ever seen something like that? When did you see Latinos raise up their voices that saying, no, 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 no. What you are saying, we want to support these people because what they are saying, it's right. Did you ever see them doing something like that? And yet when the problems approach at their doors, it's when you hear them saying, we want black Americans help. They need to come out to join us. They need to come out to fight together because this is our fight. We need united as a minority, as whatever. Now see. And when someone is there to say, please, please, you never cared about us. How come we are coming to care about you? You always being arrogant to you. How would you want any help from us when you never show any help? You have seen a lot of Latinos. Whenever they see black people, they don't want to hear anything from them. When you work with them, they try their best level to get you fired. Because they need that environment around. They need to always see them as belonging in a white supremacy. They always feel that they are white. They always feel that they own America. Each and everything they will be get favored first than talking about black people. This is what is really happening. People has been there trying to say, please, please, learn the history, learn each and everything. Why you have envy whenever you see black Americans stay in America? You have seen recently they've been saying, you don't want to help us and you are the next to get deported. Because they don't have enough knowledge about history. They don't know that black Americans are not migrants. They are not supposed to get deported. To deported from where to where? When they've been born in America land, they belongs there. Their ancestors has been there for decades. Guys, let me know what you think about this episode. I don't understand how this misunderstanding will end between Latinos and black Americans. Because each and every time it brings a lot of quarrel, a lot of, I don't know. Let me know your thought and opinion. Drop your opinion in the comment section. Do you think right now black Americans who are descent from slavery, they don't deserve any reparations according to what you know, according to what has been getting that reparation, even though they never been slaves, even they don't even pass through a lot as black people. Thank you. See you in the next episode.